All right, and I think we're live. This is the Scruffy City Aquatics live stream. We are currently missing Mr. Scruffy City himself, but he'll be here in just a moment. If y'all wouldn't mind letting me know if you can hear and see me, that would be great. Hope y'all are all doing well on this Tuesday night. Looks like we've already got a few people in the chat. Before we get to that, I want to go ahead and thank the replay crew for coming in and watching the live stream after the fact. Really appreciate that. But looks like we've got Zenny, Zen Ginger, welcome. Good to see you. Kalish, Skull Aquatics, good to see y'all. Nancy B in Tennessee, welcome, welcome. Jeff Kane. And let's see, I'm scrolling. All right, and Storm Rider's Legacy and Sean Simic, welcome, welcome. Looks like I'm seeing that we might be getting some heckling. This might be happening tonight. That's probably warranted. It has been a minute since we have been live. We've had a lot of just busyness in our day-to-day lives that have kept us from getting on here, but I know we've said it the last few times. We hope that subsides soon and we can get back to a regular schedule. It is really difficult once we get out of the rhythm of doing it every week, of picking it back up and getting into it. But we hope to do that because well, I'll speak for Mitch and myself. We miss doing it. It's a lot of fun, these live streams. It's good to chat with y'all and just talk about fish. Um, can't talk about fish and aquariums and plants enough. But we're gonna just kind of keep it casual this live stream. Don't really have a topic. We're gonna see where the chat leads us and just chat and sort of catch up. It has been quite some time. I honestly can't remember when we live streamed last. I know it was sometime in January. I think this is our second live stream of the new year. So it may have been even before January. I honestly can't remember. It has been a while. Jeff Kane saying, "Stranger danger, run away." We've got Robert Reed as well. Good to see you. The chat may lead you astray. The chat normally leads us astray. We get distracted very, very easily. I still have not found a good way with the lighting to keep the tanks behind me not all blown out as far as the lighting goes, but we'll get there. Kind of glad y'all can't see them. I'm behind on maintenance. I haven't done water changes in a couple weeks, and it's definitely showing. I got to do some cleaning, got to do some refreshing of the tanks, but I will get to that. Let's see here. Uh, Chat keeps moving along. I'm trying to read through it. Got the Nano Aquarium guy. Welcome, welcome. Zinni has just sent my links in the chat, so thank you for that. That's another thing I've not been real active on is those social media platforms, the Instagram and whatnot. Just have not been real active, but I hope to get back to that. I've got a ton of pictures and videos that I could share. Nancy saying show us your algae. I don't think I can move the camera setup, or I would. I may post some pictures of it, but it's not looking the greatest. The fish are all real healthy, which is great. I've got some fry that I'm raising up, so I've honestly just left the algae alone so they can feed off of that as well. So it's all working together. I'm starting to learn to embrace a bit of the algae, so that's been going well. Let's see. We've got Dismas P. I probably said that wrong, and I apologize. But as far as the tanks go, giving y'all a little update, I haven't done too much. I may have added a tank or two there, but I've really been kind of in maintenance mode a bit. Things are a little cool down here in the basement with winter, so not a ton of fish breeding. They've kind of just been hanging out. Had a few fry here and there, which is pretty cool. Um, got some killie fry that I've got going, which is really cool. Some amphioximian, um, which I'm pretty happy with. The first time I've gotten fry from them, and that's really cool. That's Jimmy P. Okay, did not realize. Welcome, Jimmy P. Thanks for joining in the chat tonight. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Got Stephen P. Welcome. Good to see you. It's been a minute. I've popped in on a couple live streams here and there, but not too much. No being responsible this time of night. It's forbidden. Coral Work says embracing the algae. Knit yourself a sweater from hair algae, and the algae can embrace you back. You know, if a hair algae sweater would not break down and get nasty, I I would rock the hair algae sweater. Nancy saying she pulled a sweater's worth of hair algae today. Yeah, I've got to do that. May get to that tonight. I set up a new, rescaped a tank. And it's going through those initial ugly phases, and I've got some of that just brown, mushy algae that I've got to clean off and scrape off. Other than that, the tank's doing well. I set it up. The Music City Club is actually doing a aquascaping competition, and that motivated me to rescape a tank that I hadn't been happy with for a while. So, not going to share any pictures of it until the competition is over, but I'm pretty pleased with it. It's still growing in, um, and we'll share some pictures. I think if any of y'all are in the club, I know Nancy B is. We've got our that aquascaping competition that ends in, I think submissions are due in April, and we're gonna announce winners in May. Just sort of a friendly competition sort of thing. Um, Speaking of the club, the Music City Aquarium Society, things are still rocking and rolling with it. Um, had our we had our February meeting, the first Saturday in February, and it went awesome. We had someone from the Bluegrass Fish Keepers Association come and speak, and it was awesome. It was a good time. And we have our Breeders Award program. And this last meeting, we added our Horticulturalist Award program. So I'm not real, I haven't submitted anything for the Breeders Award program, but I'm thinking the Horticulturalist might be where I turn in a lot of stuff. So I'm real excited about that one. Koro's saying, do you think you could theoretically set up a framework for turf slash hair algae to grow into the shape of a sweater, like an algae scrubber, but not a flat panel? You, potentially. I feel like you could build a little like wire frame and put some type of media on it, like the Coca Core matting, and have it grow on that, and you could have a little algae sweater. Stainless steel mesh, that could work. Nancy's saying she's looking forward to buying plants from those submissions. I'm hoping to submit a lot. I've been getting quite a few different species of plants now, and I'm getting really happy with all the ones I've got. The um, immersed tubs I've got set up are doing pretty well. They are by the window and they're getting less light because it's winter, so growth has slowed down, but they're doing pretty well. I've got some crypts in there, some Anubias, um, just a variety of different plants. Some booze is in there, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I've recently started to set up some kind of like shallow pond containers almost. They're just plants only. with like an inch of water and growing the plants immersed out of that. And they're starting to look real cool. They're still growing in, so I will share some photos once they're a little bit more established. Looks like we've got Paul Soltero in the chat. Welcome. Got Vinokski. Welcome, welcome. Happy Place Aquatics. Thanks for coming by. First Class Fish. And I think we had Fish Fam Link hop in a second ago. Where did that go? Yeah, Fish Fam Link. Thanks for popping in. You can go to Fish Fam Link. Is it fishfamlink.com? Maybe Zenny can drop the link to it, but they've got all of your aquarium content consolidated, and it's a fantastic resource. They do a lot of great things. So thanks for stopping by. So yeah, go ahead. Drop in the chat what's been going on with your tanks. What projects have you been up to? I'm interested to see since we've went live last. Fishfam.link. Okay. So it's fishfam.link. I'm always bad with remembering web addresses, but there you go. Zenny just sent it. Check that out for all sorts of different aquarium content, streams, YouTubers, all that sort of stuff. They do a really great job of plugging people and spreading all that word. And Mitch is here.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, that's good. It's good to ask if I could be heard and then look up and get the visual. It's like, wait, what? I caught the fishfamlink.com too, so we're all kicked out of the club.
Yes, I'm bad at remembering
going
that.
live for us, getting things started.
Yeah,
we talked about it earlier today about going live, and thought I'm still setting things up, so I'm kind of moving around and trying to get things going. But yeah, my wife ended up having to. She had something right after work. I had to go get the kids, feed them. Had to go Valentine's shopping for tomorrow. Apparently, we weren't done with that. And then homework. So homework's still happening in the background. I may have to step away to get it done. We are 50% in the bed as far as the kids go. And one has been told they only have like 13 more minutes. So they better wrap it up. But thank you. Thank you again for getting it started.
Yeah, I just fell with one person. It really feels like I'm just rambling, and I'm like, I need I need someone to interrupt me. Looks like Paul is saying that he's been making some good money with plant trimmings at the club auctions. Yes, that's a great thing to do. I love our club auction. I love bringing plants. Normally, what I buy is offset by what I bring. So I'm like, I get free fish and plants just by bringing what I have. And then, yeah, Nathan, I apologize. I missed seeing you in the chat, but glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing well.
Hey, here's something new. Shout out to Happy Place Aquatics who just subscribed to the channel. I got a notification. I don't think I've ever had a notification on a new subscriber while we were live streaming. So that's a first. Nice. Welcome. Yeah, I hope you enjoy no content because that's what we've been doing lately. Working on that. I joke, but we're working on that. Hopefully stuff to come, especially as we, we're tubbers. We like to do tanks outside. Hopefully, as spring gets nearer and nearer, we're able to get some projects going. I know, hold on, my phone's like audio is on now. Hope that wasn't creating an echo for everybody. I noticed that this is still there, so let me remove that. But actually, that was kind of cool, wasn't it? Having that over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, my mini tub died over the last winter storm that came through, cracked it, split it down all the way down the side. And then I noticed today that because I left everything set up, even though it was pretty much drained out, nothing was running, but the bog fell down into the mini. So now, yeah, now there's nothing there. Been vacuuming. I can see it back there. It's like, oh, that's going to bug me.
Let's see. We've also got Shady Grady. Welcome, welcome. And Coralworks is asking, they're going to swap this weekend. Is it tacky to bring plants in Ziploc bags? No.
Nah.
Bring them in what you can bring them in. As long as it's not spilling water everywhere.
Don't bring leaky bags.
Fantastic.
Use the good bags.
Yep. Don't use, I've done this before. You can buy the bread bags at like Walmart. They leak. So don't do that. They're really thin. If you're going to use Ziploc bags, use one. Well, if you're bringing plants, you can just wrap it in a wet, damp paper towel.
That's what I do. Yeah.
A-okay. But yeah, I like the Ziploc bags. We'll go to IKEA, maybe once a year, and they have all the different like hundreds of sizes of Ziploc bags, and I always steal those for aquarium plants, and then get in trouble.
Yeah, red, yellow and blue make green seal for sure. You need something that will seal, so you're not splashing all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't need water in the bag. You just need to keep things wet. So wet paper towels on a plant is the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't typically put a lot of water, but if you're doing, I see a lot of fish in Ziploc bags still, but unfortunately, most of the time that makes a mess.
Yeah, I wouldn't do plants in Ziplocs are perfect, but fish, I'm not really a fan. It just gets messy, and the bags have all the sharper corners, and I feel like that just can lead to some disaster. But yeah, wet paper towel, or sometimes I just put no water in the bag and like spray it twice with a spray bottle to keep just get humidity in there. And it also depends on how long it's going to be in the bag. If I'm bagging stuff up a couple days before, I'll do damp paper towels. If not, I'll just chuck them in a bag and day of, and I'm like, they're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting ready for that too. We're getting close. I know you were given an MCAS update. The ETAA is we're getting close on that spring swap. We're still looking for a location for it. It will happen sometime early April. If we can't find a new spot, we'll go to the old spot. So it will happen, but we would love to move it because we've outgrown the location. We definitely could. We could have had more tables had we had more space. So we don't, if you do that too many times, you'll get a reputation for staying small, not being ready to get any bigger. So we definitely wanted to go ahead and grow and be ready for the next one. I'm also planning on, there's a little bit of dust on that and it's bothering me. Also getting ready to do a live auction during that. So that should be a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
I found a young man who's wanting to do the auctioneering for me. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Auctions are so much fun. I think it's, in my opinion, the reason a lot of people come to club meetings at times or events, just because you get so much cool stuff that you will not see in an aquarium store.
Yeah.
You just get, rare fish, cool plants, just unusual stuff, and normally they're pretty reasonably priced. Now, if you're bringing in a fish that's not been seen in the auction before, or trying to bid on it, it might go for a bit if you've got some people who are pretty adamant about bringing it home.
Yeah. Yeah. The silent auction was good. It required an all-day, somebody dedicated to it for the entire length of time that it was open, because I had to explain what it was over and over again. And of course, at the last auction, at the last aquatic market, I ended up with a migraine and had to step out for the entire thing pretty much. And so nobody was really paying attention to it. And I mean, it still did all right, but it could have done a lot better had someone been there to manage it. And I decided that it would just be easier to have like 2 auctions, do like this is not set in stone. ETA has not told me I can do it this way yet. We'll get there. But my plan, my thoughts are, we typically start at 10 to 2. We typically
Yep.
start at 10. So I thought I would do the 11 o'clock hour and then do the 1 o'clock hour. And
Yeah.
so, well, not the 1 o'clock hour. I guess I would do the 11 and 12. Anyway, I was going to break it up some, not the full 2 hours, but in those hours. And that way there's an incentive to hang around a little bit, because one thing that I've definitely seen with our aquatic market every time we've held it is slammed that first hour. Like you can't move, which is great. It's a lot of fun, but people are going through, and then after a couple of hours, it slows down quite a bit. And then you get that little uptick, and then it it's pretty much over there towards the end. And so I thought if I could do something in the second hour with the auction in order to kind of hold people, maybe keep them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I thought that would be cool. Plus you give people time to see what's going to be available in the auction so that they're excited about waiting for it, and then have a break so people can shop a little bit longer, maybe get those things they were, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, take care of the vendors, and then have a second part, not just big items though. I want to split it up to where there's big items in both hours or both auctions. We'll put it that way. So we'll see. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know if that's the way to do it. If I should just do it in one go, maybe that's the way I should do it. But anyone who has any experience that would like to give me some insight into whether or not they think that would be a good idea, I'm open to suggestions. I was scrolling back. I saw someone, Shady Grady. Did we say hello to Shady Grady?
We did, but I think he sent another message saying that it's their first time
Yeah.
on the stream. So welcome. Thank you for taking a chance on the stream. I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, I remember with the fall swap, I sold probably 95% of the stuff I sold in the first hour. And then after that, I had a great time. I always do. I more so get a table at the swap just so I have an excuse to hang around, and I'm
And
honestly
spending money.
Yeah, most of the time my goal is to break even, but I spend a majority of my time walking around to the other tables versus manning my table. So the swaps are a great time. If you're
That's why you show up with people.
Yes, exactly. That's what I do every time.
And
But
they're not fish people, are they? Like you all had a buddy this time.
Yeah, he was not a fish person. I said,
yeah,
hey,
so he
what's
was
the
your table person. He was like, hang out here, I'll be back.
And I came back by, and he was like, so many people have asked me questions. I don't know any answers. They're asking about what is this plant? And I'm like, it's a plant.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
okay,
where your answer. That's where your answer is. I'll take $1 off if you don't ask me another question. I'll give you $1 discount if you'll just buy it and go on.
Yep. Paul's saying each club auction is different. In his club, shrimp go for really big money, where cichlids are a tough sell. Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
That's true for us.
Specifically our club, and then other clubs I've been to as well. The auction, it really depends on what is a surplus there. Like, for example, our club, plants and smaller fish go for way more than like angelfish. Angelfish are a really tough go at our club just because there's 3 or 4 people who breed angelfish. So
we typically are mostly nano tanks, from what or nano fish, not necessarily nano tanks. We've got a lot of large tanks, but not keeping a lot of large fish. At our last aquatic market, we had a gentleman, super nice guy. I've seen him at a couple of things in the area, but he had all large fish, and he started closing up early. And I went and
Yeah.
talked to him, and he was, he was like, yeah, he's like, it just wasn't a lot of people interested in the large fish. He goes, but I had a good time, and I'm glad I came. And we were like, well, I'm glad you came too. And but yeah, the larger fish don't do so well in our market so far. That doesn't mean it won't change, because more and more people are learning about the ETAA and
Hmm.
the aquatic market. And I think man, if I can get that venue just down so I can start advertising it, that's my biggest concern right now, is trying to get the word out. Because we have quite a few people travel some big distances to come,
Hmm.
and super excited about that. What about you guys on your current lineup of speakers? I know, so we've got the March meeting is Cassandra. Cassandra, who's now a board member on the ETAA, is doing a presentation on killifish. And then in April, we'll have the swap. In May, I have something planned with I have something tentatively planned with CFI, Conservation Fisheries Incorporated. That should be really fun, that we're looking forward to. And then I believe, I don't want to say, I've got somebody I'm really excited for in the summer, but I can't remember exactly which, if it's June or July. But we've got some exciting stuff going on. Do you guys have some people lined up? Like, you got your next speaker ready to go?
So not at the moment. I've
Okay.
got something tentatively planned for next month. Um, we're gonna have a talk on Achilles at some point. We are probably gonna have a plant talk. Gonna have, hopefully, I don't think John is in the chat, but hopefully John is gonna come speak on Gadiads at some point this year. So we've got a lot of moving kind of around. I'm trying to work out everybody's schedule. This year, it's been a little more difficult trying to find speakers and mix
Yeah.
things up. But I'm looking forward to it. We were hoping to have a spring swap, but we haven't had luck finding a venue.
It's
So
expensive.
it's real expensive, especially here in Nashville. They're
Yep.
wanting way more money than I can possibly think of the club justifying to spend. So we're looking to push that earliest in the summer, depending on finding a venue. I'm trying to pin down something at CFI, nothing solidified yet,
Hmm.
but I'm trying. We're probably, hopefully, going to go over there at some point this summer
It's
or
so
late
great.
spring.
I love
It
going over to
is.
CFI.
It's a
You guys
great
come into
time.
town and do something, let me know. I want to be there for it. Since I can't
Definitely.
ever make it out to Nashville right now. Um, we had something coming up in Nashville. I need to get with you on that. But yeah, it's CFI is awesome, and the work they're doing is great, and we're real happy to support as much as we can with TAA, and we're hoping to do some more stuff with them. And always, we'll always invite you guys to join us. Like, we're still hoping to go up and do some snorkeling at some point, and the more the merrier on a trip like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I will, real quick, not a plug, but an ask. If you are someone in the greater Nashville area and would like to come to the club meeting and speak on something, let me know, message me. If you are someone outside of that area and do not want to travel, let me know if you would like to speak. We do have capabilities to bring you in virtually on Zoom or whatever platform. So let me know, because our club is looking for speakers for this year, and that would be absolutely fantastic. So
Is I've been gone for a while. Kalish, is that Jimmy P?
no, Jimmy P
No.
is, it starts with a D. Their
Okay.
their
Fine.
username.
I knew he had a new name. So Kalish, we have amazing plant people, but they sometimes go cheap just because we can always get them. And yeah, that's
Hmm.
true. With the plant, especially when you get to the end of an event, you don't want to take it home. And have to put it back in the aquarium. So, you know, you can get pretty good deals on at events like that on plants. I feel like people are real reasonable on their prices there. Because most of us, you know, we're hobbyists. We don't have overhead when it comes to our plants, and we'd be throwing it out otherwise. So, you know, getting something. Now, some people are growing them. You know, you've got setups where you're growing plants. You bring some amazing plants, but you still on a hobbyist scale. So you've got, you know, you're able to deal a little bit more if you want to.
Oh yeah, if I
Especially if you got something you got your eyes on that you're wanting to buy and you need a few more dollars.
absolutely, I did a at the swaps. I do a lot of walking around, and I'm saying, "Hey, I got this over here. I'll give you I'll give you 3 of this plant. You'll trade me for that one." And they're like, sure." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. That's a
Yeah.
great deal for me, and it's a good deal for you." So it's a great time. But yeah, no, I would if I even if I couldn't sell the plants or for anything, I would still be growing the plants
Yeah.
because I like it.
Yep. Paul says my club uses my auctions to register auction items, and yeah, I've seen that. Someone
Mhm.
showed me that recently. I'm looking. I've got that saved on my phone to do a little research on. That looks like a great
Yeah,
way to do things. And I noticed Sketty
definitely.
Nana's here. Welcome, Sketty.
Oh yeah, welcome. I think that oh, whose club uses that? I can't remember their name, but I talked to them and they said it's great and I looked into it, but I think it's a paid
Kalish is
service
a
and
Misa.
maybe someone can correct me.
A Misa P. A Misa, sorry about that. Thanks for being here. Or used to the account formerly known as Amisa, now Kalish.
I also respond to "Hey you."
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for everybody being a good sport as we bumble through this. We're still we're out of practice. We got to get back going. We've
Hey,
got
it's the other SC.
Surf City Cichlids.
Cichlids.
Say that 5 times fast.
Surf City Cichlids. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Zenny. Yeah. Yeah. It's man, I know you were talking about it because I had my headphones on so I could hear. It's my group auctions. Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
150. That's not terrible, but welcome, Alishan.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea for us to try it or to do it without it because since we just don't have a lot of time. And the other issue that I'm going to run into, it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem when you're trying to plan something like this. I thought there was a good chance we would not have the silent auction at the last swap, the aquatic market, formerly known as the swap, because I had no one confirmed to be bringing anything. Like I had a few people who told me they were, but I mean, it was not enough for me to do anything. And I was like, well, if I don't have enough, I'll just put it on the club table and we'll put a price on it. And then everybody brings stuff and hands it to me as they're walking in the door. And so I'm like trying to get stuff set up. So that's why it will not take place during the first hour for sure, because I'm sure it'll take me a little while to set up. And that's one of the reasons why I want to kind of break it up, because I know I'll get stuff for those first couple of hours. Um, but if I set up something like that app or program, website, whatever, if I were to set that up earlier and let people know and try to get people to register, then that would definitely be a good option. So I feel like I don't have enough time to utilize it this time, but I am looking into it for the future. This being the first time I'm doing a live auction as opposed to the silent auction, one step at a time. I can mess this thing up easy anyway. I don't want to throw in
Mhm.
another item to keep up with. I was talking about the A team today at work. It's hilarious. In the chat, they're talking about Amisa changing their name and now no longer being part of the A team. Yeah, we were talking about Liam Neeson and talking about movies that he was in or has been in. And I mentioned the A-Team and everybody got quiet. And I was like, okay, come on. You all know there was an A-Team movie. Like, I realize it's not a film. It's, it's not a great movie, but man, it's fun. It's a fun movie. You've got to see it. And then again, it's been so long since I actually sat down and watched it. It may actually be horrible. I don't know, but I enjoyed it when I watched it.
That's the worst thing is when you have really fond memories of a
Yeah.
movie from years ago, and then you go back and watch it, and you're like, "Wow, this
Yeah.
movie's terrible,"
that
and it just
doesn't happen
ruins
a
the.
whole lot.
It's happened to
I'll
me
tell you something that's
specifically
interesting.
with childhood movies.
That's Yep. That's what I was gonna say. I'll tell you something real interesting, and that is thinking about some of the movies that I watched as a child and being like, "Ooh, family movie night. Let's sit down and watch this," and turn it on and be like, "No, we are not. No, we are not sitting through this with you." What were my parents thinking?
Oh man.
Yes, Skull Aquatics. There was an A-Team series. The movie that came out like, I don't know, 2010, early 2000s, was a, I don't know, what do you call it? It's loosely based off of the series. So um, take that for what it is. It has, the characters have the same names and certain quirks that the characters had in the series. I remember the series. My dad loved it. Um, when I was in school, the term film meant it was something you had to get a parent's permission slip to watch. Yeah. 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 Bad movies can be enjoyable. It says
Oh
Stephen
yeah.
Peace is not a film. Yeah. There's a lot of those. One summer my daughter was 11, we watched some of my favorite childhood movies from the 90s. Some of them do not hold up. It's true. The 90s were very different, especially when it comes to entertainment and movies. We were kind of the beginning of that children's movie push, where Nickelodeon and all those studios were starting to invest, like Good Burger. You go back
Good
and watch Good
burgers.
Burger. Good Burger. My kids get so annoyed by that movie, and it's like, I still like it.
I love that movie.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Sandlot is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like, I can watch The Sandlot all day, anytime.
I think one of the worst things is seeing is specifically any older movies that have special effects. Going back and watching
Yeah,
that after watching newer movies, you're like, "Wow, this
yeah.
is," because like, when you first watch the movie, you're like, "Oh, this is crazy," and then going back and watching it like 10 years later, you're like, "This is this is interesting."
Yeah. Major League, that Happy Place Aquatics, that's a good one. I will tell you though, and it may be an age thing, but Major League 2 was probably bigger for me. I'm not saying it's better. I mean, I realized we lost Wesley Snipes, but it was a fun movie. Princess Bride, cringeworthy fun. Man, I do enjoy that movie. Me and my wife watched it not long ago on a date night. That is a favorite. The Room from 2003.
The
I don't know The
Room,
Room.
the AKA I think it's the worst movie of all time. Is
Oh,
is is that a
really?
misstatement? I thought it was regarded as that. I may be completely wrong.
It apparently has had several sequels. Spaceballs, absolutely Spaceballs. Yeah.
Yes.
We were watching the Marvels this weekend, and I was like, I think Spaceballs did that plot better.
Coro says, "No, it is absolutely the worst movie of all time." That's what I remember. Um, See, I
So
I
bad it's
told
good.
y'all at the very beginning, or I think Nancy actually said it, the chat will lead us astray, and the
Yes.
chat has led us astray. It has met its goal, but
Yep. You all have been successful. My favorite movie of all time. Oh, wait, hold on. We got to put it on the screen. Is one that would probably get canceled now, but The Breakfast Club is and will always be my number one classic.
it's a great
It is a
movie.
classic. Yeah, it's a great movie. I honestly can't tell you how long it's been since I've seen it, but it is a good movie. I
Yeah, it's been a
remember it
while.
from when I was younger. It's like what was Can't Buy Me Love? You remember that one? It was around the same
Uh,
time. He's like he
can't.
mows the girl's yard, and she needs money because she ruined some piece of clothing or something. And so
I have
he
not
he
seen it.
pays her to date him so he can become popular.
I haven't seen it. Keep in mind, I haven't seen a lot of the movies.
Yeah.
I was born in '98, so
Gotcha.
Can't
Gotcha.
Buy Me Love
Well,
came out in 87. So that's a bit before my time.
yeah, I will, I was too young to watch it for sure. I would have caught it on like TNT or something. I don't know. Yeah, Nancy B, at least it's not football season. We missed that by that much.
It
Um,
is basketball season though.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nancy says,
Um,
"Keep in mind, Tanner is a youngin." I'm I'm not that young.
Coro and those other movies are not sequels. They just happen to share the name. No way. That's hilarious. I've got to look this up. Not right now. I won't do it right now. But I absolutely have to look that up.
Prepared.
I
I've seen one of the rooms and the I guess the original one or whatever, but prepared to be disappointed.
All right. So we're still I checked. We've gotten off topic and we've been talking about movies for a few minutes and we're still at 25 viewers. So we
Hey,
don't have to change topics. At the moment, we'll hold as long as the attention span sticks to it. I did want to say Blues Brothers is a film, not a movie. Brothers, a film, and one of the best. Um, uh, any John Hughes movie is great. Okay, yeah. I don't know what I know that. Oh, did my internet go down, or is this thing on?
I can still hear you. It cut out for a second.
Okay.
John
Yeah.
Hughes, great.
Yep. Yep. More of a Pulp Fiction Kill Bill person, Scatty Nana. Okay, I finally got to the Tanner's a Youngin. Um,
Oh,
I'm
we've got
trying to
the
catch
Garden of
up.
Eater in the chat. Welcome.
What's
Good to
up,
see you.
eaters?
Hope y'all are doing well. I just saw your post on Facebook where you were with, I can't remember his name, but Keeping Fish Simple, and that I bet that was a great time.
Oh
I'm sure
yeah,
his talk was fantastic.
I saw that too.
I've watched his YouTube videos for a
Long time.
while now, and I really enjoy the way his philosophy with fish keeping and the way that he um, keeps his tanks and explains how he breeds the fish. He's very transparent with it, and I really enjoy that. Now we're getting back onto the fish topic, but I have been wanting to ask Mitch,
Yeah.
how have your tanks been doing, and have you
Oh,
been doing
we're not supposed to talk
projects?
about that. I'm not doing videos for a
We're not
reason.
okay. Well, I know you had your headphones in early, and I told them I am severely behind on maintenance.
Yeah, me too.
Fish are doing well. They've been fed. They get fed. They get fed way too. They eat better than I do, but
That's
I haven't
good.
cleaned the tanks themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm similar. I heard you talking about the algae. I am on the algae at the moment too. Is my best friend. Not hating it whatsoever or wanting to pluck it out at the moment. But yeah, so the 75 went through a bit of neglect, and so all my crypts got mad at me again and decided to take a hike.
mm,
But they're on the rebound. They're all growing back now. But I've got this big patch in the middle where I had that sea of crypts. That's just bare, just little bit of growth going on.
mhm.
The biggest issue was I had those 3 swords on that one side, and they just ate it all. They took over everything, and they
Mm.
were, honest to goodness, they were beyond the halfway point on the 75. They were huge, and so I was like, okay, I got to clear these out some. So I got to cutting them back, and I cut them way back, and I pulled out 6 spikes of baby Amazon swords. So I have
Oh,
swords in every
nice.
tank right. Yeah, I have swords in every tank right now, growing them out so that I can try to get rid of them maybe around the swap or something. I took a bunch to the club in December. Yeah, in December. Um, I guess it was December and January. But anyway, yeah, so the 75 is ugly, which has me thinking I might go ahead and work on that substrate now that I'm not worried about killing off a bunch of plants.
Mm-hmm.
Since it doesn't look great, I may go ahead and just catch those fish, move them while I just completely tear up that substrate and make it what I want it to be.
Yeah.
Which is something I've been wanting to do, but I've been afraid to do. But yeah, so there's that. Trying to think if there's anything else with the 75 going on. Otherwise, it's good. The 25 Garden of Eden. Speaking of, I've got some blue diamonds that I won from them a little over. Was that Fish Fam Christmas a little over a year ago? Maybe I feel like that might have been it.
It's
No, it
definitely
was one of
been
their live streams. It was their
it's been
live
over
stream.
a year, I think.
Yeah, it was one of their live streams. They had a giveaway. They were celebrating something. It was a milestone, and I won those. And they are doing fabulous over in the 25. I'm really we're at a really busy season in our lives, and so tank maintenance is more of a hassle than fun right now.
Yep.
And so it's got me thinking about dialing back some. And if I were to get rid of a tank, it'd be the 25. So I'm trying to think through moving the blue diamonds over to that 10-gallon that I have in the bedroom, and moving some fish out of there. Maybe just having that be a shrimp tank. I'd really like that. And then I could also but anyway, that tank's always kind of been in the way, and that stand really needs to be replaced anyway. It's an old stand, and I bumped it the other day, and I didn't really like the response that I got out of it. So, so it
Yep.
worries me with its placement and how much weight it's holding. So that tank very likely will come down sometime soon, it has a ton of plants in it. I'm looking at it right now because its light's still on. It has a ton of plants in it that would get distributed, which would be a good thing. It's also where the Sawasser tang is, and I think that would go to the 10-gallon. It's gone crazy. The Sawasser tang has. It's done
Yeah.
really well.
One of my
The
favorite plants.
Oh, I love it. I was talking with someone about it the other day. I really like that plant, especially for shrimp. It seems to do really
Oh
well.
yeah.
They love it. The twin long. So we lost the betta.
Mm.
The one that Paisley got. It had been like it hadn't been a year. Really beautiful, that really beautiful blue and white betta that started to have red on it. It was gorgeous. I think I was messaging you when it happened. It just, one day I went in, he didn't look well. So I started to watch and see what I needed to do. And then the next day he was pine coned. So within a few days he was gone. And I was planning on getting her another, but someone at the club ended up giving her a betta they had bred and raised. So she
Oh,
has
nice.
another one in there, a little longer finned. And everything else is doing great. The endlers are kind of out of control. This one is not going after all of the fry like the other one did. The other one I was gorging itself on fry. I have no doubt. There was never any endler fry in that tank.
Was that the betta that you had gotten at the spring swap?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we had gotten one at the spring swap as well.
Yeah.
I think they were very old.
Okay. Could have been.
Not very old, but at least a year or two old. And
Okay.
because we got one there and it had the basically same thing. Checked on it one day, it was doing fine. Next
Yep.
day, it started looking just like an old man, like
Yeah.
an old fish, and then it
Well,
started
and it
downhill
went
from there.
quick. Like it
Yeah.
went quick after that. And no other real issues with the tank. I've been watching it. Nothing had been added or removed or anything like that. So it all happened very quick.
Hmm.
And you're not the only other person that I had experienced that too. Um, so but yeah, we were, it was a hard evening when
Yeah.
that happened. But she still loves her tank. It's got a lot of algae in it right now. I do plan on removing, it's got that internal filter in it, and I hate
Hmm.
that thing. Trying to clean that thing is a real pain. So I've got to, I'm going to replace that probably with just a sponge filter because there's nothing on that. It's just got a lot of low light plants. Um, and yeah, the 10 gallons. So probably the biggest hit on my hobby recently has been that those Corridoras who were doing so good for so long, I started losing them, and
Mm.
no other losses in the tank. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I even checked my parameters. Everything's okay. So I'm not sure what happened there. I still have a few, just, I used to have 9. But I'm watching them right now, keeping the water, changed a little more regular, just to see what I can do. It also has one of those internal filters, but it has a sponge filter in there that's been running. So, but yeah, that was probably one of the biggest, because you guys know how excited I was about those orange Vinnies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't up on tank maintenance like I should have been, and they're younger, so it definitely could have been, it was just something on my end. Hold on one moment.
Yeah.
You can talk.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed younger quarries in particular are, and this just may be my experience, but can be more susceptible to some bacterial things going on. Once that bacterial load increases high enough, they're pretty susceptible to that. But while Mitch has stepped away, oh, Mitch is back.
I'm back.
I was gonna do a little rundown on my
Yeah, do it.
tank, real brief. So I've got behind me. This is the little fish room. It's like a large closet that I'm in. It's probably 10 feet deep by like 4 feet. So I've crammed enough tank to, yeah, this side is just all storage and like totes and stuff. And then everything over here is um, tanks. But I've got, let's see, I've got some least killifish, some endlers in this tank, some Bloody Mary shrimp in here as well. They're all doing really well. Everything's breeding like crazy. The shrimp are still reproducing, even though temperatures, like the tank temps, are like 60, mid 60s with the the temperature the basement's staying at. Uh, I did pick up at our last club meeting some Leptoleucania omata. They're a killifish. I think these guys are the ones I have are were collected in Florida, but I think they're spread about. But they're really cool. I know they like some warmer temps, so I'm hoping in the later in the year they'll get to breeding. Welcome Garcia Aquatics and welcome Carr. But other than that, I've got some killifish fry spread out between a few tanks. They're doing well. Um, what else do I have in here? Oh, my black rose shrimp are breeding and doing well. I got them at the October ETAA swap. Let's see. What else do we have? The Australebius nigerpinus are still doing well. I got those at a club meeting a couple months ago. They're a annual killifish, a peat spawner, and I've got 5 or 6 bags of uh, substrate incubating with eggs, crossing my fingers because I am horrible at finding the eggs and have not been able to do so. So I'm just, people have told me they're like, the eggs are definitely in there. You've seen them breed. So they're in there. Just
Yeah.
let them sit and flood them after so many months. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust it. Right now it looks like a bag of dirt. um,
Yeah.
I got some of those. I think you still may still have some as well, but those Fundulopanchax Gardneri from
Yeah.
Derek's.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys
I've
are
not had any,
stunning.
I've not done anything with eggs or anything with them though.
Yeah, I've pulled a few eggs from mine. I've got a trio, and they're doing well. The male is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, mine
I've got
too.
my
The female is huge. So
I've got my Xenotoka Eisenai. Where are they from? Rio Compostela in this tank. Still waiting on them to get going breeding. Um, Up here, yeah, all these 2.5 gallons are killies.
yeah,
And then this tank that you can't really see are some cherry barbs I might try and work with. Um, but yeah, that's about what's going on. The 55 and the 40 are out in the main area of the basement, and they're trucking along. I rescaped the 40. I need to send you a
oh
picture, Mitch, but
yeah,
you
I've not
can't
seen it.
share it. You can't share it because
Oh,
it's
are you
for
talking about that? It's part of your all's. Yep, gotcha.
yeah.
Well,
So top
w-
secret confidentiality.
okay, I look forward to that. We are going to have to go though. I know Eric's
Yeah.
been live streaming, and I definitely don't want
Hmm.
to spill over onto his time. Make sure everybody gets over there for Eric Wyrock for his live stream. Should be starting, if it's not already started, should be starting any minute now. But thank you to everyone who came out, and thank you again to Tanner for getting it started since I wasn't able to show
Yeah.
up for a little bit. But it's been great, and of course, we want to do these more often and more regularly. We'll get to
Hmm.
work on that and try to make that happen. No promises yet, as you can
Yep.
see in the title, or are we back? We don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all to
Yep.
everyone. We appreciate it. And yeah, I'll try to get some stuff out for you, and try
Yep.
to look for me in the live streams. I'm mostly lurking when I'm around right now. Eric, not scheduled. Okay.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
someone may have an opportunity then to go live because I
Yeah.
still got to go.
Hmm.
But yeah, thanks everyone. Have a good evening. And for those of you on the who are watching after the fact, thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank
watching.
you.
And if you'd hit that like, we'd appreciate it. See ya. A
See ya.
little frozen.